not the word you subscribe. The team did go 1-0. Penn State did beat Bowling Green to improve to 2-0 on the regular season going into the bye week. But man, Jarrod, 34-27. Not what you would expect from Joe Smeltzer, Jarrod Prugar here on the Sports Now wrap-up show. Jarrod, this is kind of uncharted territory for James Franklin. When you think about games in the past, last year Indiana, Penn State was a big favorite, only ended up winning by a little more than score 2 years ago. Northwestern, same thing. But with the Indiana game, that's at least a Big Ten team. Northwestern, at least that's a Big Ten team. If you remember, it was raining all day, and that contributed on Penn State's problems. But today, the no reason for Penn State not to wipe the floor with Bowling Green. They just didn't have it.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing is they still got out of here with the win. But the factor is they didn't dictate the pace of the game defensively. And that's what they did against West Virginia. West Virginia played a bad football game, certainly. But today, the defense didn't let the game came to them, and they weren't able to take advantage. When you're doing that, it's a bad situation. But in the second half, they turned it around, flipped the script, and the offense was a little bit inconsistent, which you're going to expect in League 2. But again, you're going into a bye, you're not trying to show too much on film, and you get out of here with the win, albeit 34-27 and a little ugly. A win is a win, and they got out of here relatively healthy as well.
Yeah, what's kind of confusing about it to me, there's a lot of confusing things about this game. One of them is that we saw flashes of the very best of Penn State in all three phases. Offensively, the first half was pretty much what you want to see, right? 20 points, a few missed opportunities, but overall played well enough to really be ahead of Bowling Green instead of being down by 4 points going into halftime. Defensively, didn't allow a touchdown in the second half, only allowed 3 points, and that was a field goal that really came late after the outcome had already been decided. And on special teams, Sanders, Haydock hit 2 field goals, right? He missed one against West Virginia. That's got to be big for his confidence, as he still, in theory, could have to fend off Brian Parker and Chase Myers for that kicking job. But the three phases, we saw flashes of all of them. Defensively, Tony Rojas, hit kicks near the end of the game to help seal it, but it just didn't come together all at the same time.
Yeah, it's really weird to look back at this game because 34 points is typically pretty good, but it's against the MAC team. You expect Penn State to take care of business against the MAC team, and they did to an extent, but they gave up 2 points in the first half. 24 points to any opponent is not Penn State's brand, but again, they held them to 3 in the second half, and they got out of here with the win. That's what's important. Aller looked good at times. The offense was really good at times. One drive, it took them 3 plays to get to the end zone, 75 yards. Another one play, 41 yards for Nicholas Singleton on the game-sealing touchdown there late in the game. So you're happy at times, but you should have been able to handle your business a little bit more efficiently against Bowling Green. But again, 2-0 heading into the bye week. We got Penn State next week, or the next game, and things are looking good for the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, and Bowling Green, I know Penn State fans probably roll their eyes after a game like this when James Franklin talks up the other team and how well the other team played instead of, frankly, I feel like a lot of people want to see James Franklin kind of downplay Penn State more, kind of rip into his team a little bit after a game that didn't have that emphatic feel that West Virginia did. But at the end of the day, Bowling Green, probably, I would say they're the back favorite right now. Carter Baselak, fantastic in the first half. That's good a half of a quarterback that we've seen against Penn State's defense in quite some time. Second half, not the same, but that kid really played like a Big Ten quarterback, which he used to be in Indiana in that first half. And overall, Bowling Green, not a team that Penn State should only beat by a touchdown, but that's not a format they played out there either.
No, Bowling Green was really good. I think you have to give credit to them in that first half, especially. They took everything that Penn State was giving them, and it paid off. And when you're able to do that, and Baselak having that familiarity with Tom Allen, I think helps as well. Yep. Knowing what they're probably going to run there in certain situations, and they exploited that. It was a great offensive game plan in the first half. Penn State comes out, counters that in the second half, and it's just not the same team for Bowling Green. But kudos to Bowling Green. They had a perfect game plan, executed it to perfection in the first half, and they got out of here with a very close loss, which when it's all said and done, it's going to look good for them later in the season.
Whatever you just heard back there, that's the Coach Zamboni that makes an appearance probably in every post-game wrap-up video that's filmed here on the service of Beaver Stadium. But as we're wrapping it up here, we'll give our main takeaway. So, Jarrod, I would say my main takeaway is this Penn State defense is not a sure thing. We kind of took it for granted a little bit over the offseason. We figured, okay, yeah, losing Manny Diaz definitely hurts. That's kind of the best defensive mind anywhere in college football, and losing that guy, you never want to think that that's not going to be an issue. But at the same time, you get a guy that had been a head coach for almost a decade. Tom Allen was a defensive coordinator before that, a defensive coach that was really well respected, even though Indiana isn't a heavyweight in the Big Ten by any means. Still a pretty respected guy within the offense, within the conference, as a head coach, and having him as a defensive coordinator. Plus all that talent coming back, you really figure Penn State always is good defensively in up years, down years, whatever. The defense is the one constant. We kind of went into this season thinking that after week 1 against West Virginia, we definitely thought that. And James Franklin even talked at his Monday presser about how really not enough people were talking about how well Penn State's defense played. Now, as Audrey Snyder put it in the first half on Twitter, people were talking about Penn State's defense a lot today, but in the second half, really talking about it for the right, not for the right reasons. And I think that Penn State eventually will win the ship defensively, but there's got to be at least some concern right now.
Yeah, and I think, again, it's only week 2. We haven't seen the full scheme of Penn State's defense, which is huge. But also, a lot of players are playing out of position within the defense in the first half, as James Franklin alluded to. When you do that, it's typically a bad thing. You got to stay within the defense and make those types of plays. But again, Penn State gets out of here with a win. That's what matters. My key takeaway is this offense is going to feature something different every game. Today it was Tyler Warren. Next week, or 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks from now, it's going to be something completely different. It's going to be very interesting to see how this offense continues to develop.
Absolutely. There's still 10 games left in the regular season, plus whatever postseason opportunities await Penn State. But for now, Penn State goes into its first of 2 bye weeks this season, then faces Penn State back here at Beaver Stadium, and doesn't have a game on the road until they got to go across the country to play USC October 12th, and that's going to be certainly one of the more interesting games in the Big Ten all season. But until then, we'll have plenty of wrap-up content for you from Penn State Bowling Green. Prugar, I'm Joe Smeltzer. Follow along on Sports Now. We'll have